You know what I'm saying? He wasn't never really her type like that.
Why would she say that on camera?
I don't know, bro.
You know how many white boys in this country look like Paul Walker? Get with one of them. If that's how you really feel. And that's another thing. When you saw the video, right after she said it, like she kind of hugged him or touched him or something, he was like, don't touch me.
Because
why do women do that? The moment they say something that bother you or upsets you, the first thing they want to do is make physical contact. The last thing I want right now is anything touching me, especially you. New No, I see it's on you. I don't hit record no more.
You're not gonna say it?
And we are live.
And we're live.
I ain't have to say it no more.
Hey,
you got a nice little countdown on the screen now.
Hey, look, we trying something. Let's see how it run. But let's get into some sort of rhythm. Ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and outside of those constructs, welcome to another episode of the Samurai Professionals Podcast, the podcast where two young professionals bring issues to the table and we chop it up. I'm your co-host Marvin, Young Saint, Charles Flex Xavier, Datman Beyond, Dion Slanders. It's a lot weirder to do it when you feel like people are watching you.
Yep.
And the man to the right of me can only be
Nacho Man Candy Savage, the serial killer, Applejack the Ripper, the Munch on Lunch, Lord of the Wings, Job in the Cut, the Wholesome Dude, Fat Boy Slim, Grits and Gravy, Ron Swansong, Walter White Walker, Whore Door Stopper, the F and F&D, one half of this POD. He is I and I am him. It's Frank. Let's chop it up.
Let's chop it up. What's good, my G?
Chilling, man. Chilling. This week actually hasn't been as hectic as the previous week, so that's good.
Well, I mean, going into last week, you had like events coming up. You had shit going. It wasn't just a come through type of week. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You see, this week I didn't change recording times on you not once. Last week I changed it like 6 times.
I was shocked, somewhat appalled. You seem to be more eager to record than I was. I was like, okay, this is a different dynamic for us. But, what else? I'll try something new.
But how your week been, man? How you been, fam?
My week was good, man. Hey, you ready? Funny shit. I don't know what to do with my hands. So like I keep trying to find a place for them. And that's a Step Brothers reference for those of y'all who don't know.
But, no, not Step Brothers. It was Talladega Nights when Will Ferrell's doing the commercial.
I'm sorry.
He's
I'm
like
mixing them over. It's like
same actor, different movie.
Both actors, different movies.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what to do with my hands. But nah, the week was good. The week started out great. You know what I'm saying? Started out with you and the family. Frank dedicated, he had the dedication for his third child, Fahim. It was amazing. The family was out there. I've learned.
You heard what you said. The family was out there, right? And who was invited?
I mean, as Miani's father, I expected.
Nigga, let's not do this today. Let's start off on a good note.
Hey, slow down. People can see your anger. Like, there's no need. There's no need for all of that. All right. It was beautiful. I did miss the service, but I was there for the. You don't call it a repast. that's after a funeral.
No.
What's those things called?
Just a reception.
A reception. We went to the reception. And I got to remember, whenever Frank does any sort of event, it's going to be outside. And I have to start accepting that. And he loves an outside in probably one of the hottest days of the year. Yep. And I got to start remembering that because, yeah, he got me again. How that Drewski thing got him. We fucking got him. That's how Frank got him. I'm out there, put on my, but I wasn't going to the church, so I didn't have on a shirt and tie, but I came slacks up, you know what I'm saying? Get there, beautiful, nice outdoor setting. Like the place was beautiful. It just, God wasn't cooperating with the temperature.
It's been hot as hell for March, dude. We had days in the 90s already. And it's like, we had days in the 90s that we even had like all day rain, which is very unusual for this time of year.
all day rain, late in the night rain. Like we've been getting a lot of evening rains the last couple days. But it was great. It was great being, with the family. I got to see my daughter. My baby moms was there.
I'm not doing this with you. Not doing this with you.
Talk to me, Frank. What's going on?
No, I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead. Tell people about your weekend with your family, since that's what we doing.
Well, I mean, Frank's mom dropped it like it was hot.
Jesus Christ. My mother's okay, by the way. Thank you for asking.
I knew she was. I caught her. I knew she was fine.
I appreciate that. You did catch my mom.
I would expect you to do the same. I mean, and I think it was just because it was hot, and also, she was bending down to clean up something, and look, if it's hard for me,
don't work how they used to.
If it's hard for me in my 30s, I be bending down. I've learned now that when I bend down, I catch myself with a little, like there's a little noise that come out of it now that I didn't have when I was a little younger. But now when mom's bent down, she had twerked a little bit. I caught her, thank God for that.
This nigga, man.
I was there to support, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to the listener that tagged me saying, Frank put up the picture with all the people who was all his babies, what is it, the godparents? And that's fine. I don't need to be a godparent. I'm an actual parent of one of his kids, so I really am not gonna complain about it. And we more like brothers, right, Frank?
Continue.
We not like brothers? Eskimo brothers?
Nigga. We just might be, but not with the person you talking about.
You know what? Hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it real quick. It actually made me think of, so I don't know if you heard this story. I'm gonna ask you a question. All right. Would it be weird for you if your wife came up to you and said, like, is your relationship solid enough that your wife could come up to you and say, like, hey, your homeboy is fine. Like, I'm more attracted to him. He's more my type.
We pretty solid, but that'll definitely make some things rocky.
Like that would
definitely end up in an argument. Like voices will be raised on some shit like that. It'll probably go something like when by the time she ends that sentence, my response would be something like, "The fuck you just say to me? Or who the fuck you think you talking to right now?"
Like she was like, I just find him so attractive. Like that's an attractive man. Like if that's how she was talking to you about him.
Like, come again?
She did.
But when somebody say come again, nigga. Somebody say that shit, that don't mean repeat yourself. That means
figure what the fuck you just said and reword that shit. Because what you said is some bullshit.
Or take it all back. I'm giving you grace right now. I'm giving you time to put in, hey, I'm just playing. I'm fucking with you. I'm giving you grace to do that.
Just fill it in. Like, nah, babe, I be kidding.
Or if you finna double down on it, then understand that a fight is coming after that next sentence. So it's to prepare yourself. How you want to go? I just, I gave you several routes, options and several routes. You pick the one you feel is best.
She essentially saying, like, if it was you and another and this homeboy in the room, that she would have fucked she would have gave the homeboy the cheeks before she would have gave it to you. That's a weird thing to say to somebody.
I don't think that's some shit you should say to somebody. If that's really how you feel, I think the relationship is over at that point. It's like, because it's like, what's stopping you now? Don't let me stand in your way.
Well, this story is based off of what Tyrese said, that his ex-fiance said that she found Paul Walker to be more attractive than him. Like that's more her type. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't never really her type like that.
Why would she say that on camera?
I don't know, bro.
You know how many white boys in this country look like Paul Walker? Get with one of them. If that's how you really feel. And that's another thing. When you saw the video, right after she said it, like she kind of hugged him or touched him or something, he was like, "Don't touch me."
Because
why do women do that? The moment they say something that bother you or upsets you, the first thing they want to do is make physical contact. The last thing I want right now is anything touching me, especially you. Why do that?
I don't know. I mean, but we've all been in that situation, right? Like we've all been in a situation where you, as homeboys, we compete in. How it is that we've been competing for a girl. Like like we go to a party, you see a girl. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell she kind of feeling both of us, but now it's like which one of us gonna seal the deal? And after that point, once she play and give you a bit more play than me, I know fall back. For one, I need to abort mission out of respect for my homeboy, but also there's plenty other hoes in here, as Hove said. So I'll find something else to do. Let me not invest all this time in this fool's errand at this point. So I don't know. I like I said, we've done it before where, we know a girl has been invested in both of us at a certain point. How do you?
But like you just said, you kind of play the field and see, okay, she's looking at the both of us or she's shooting play at the both of us. Both of y'all play it cool until she commits more or less, or she shoots one a little bit more play than the other. Another one say, okay, cool. You clearly got the upper hand on this one. I'm finna go fuck with somebody else. That's if your homeboy ain't a hoe himself. Now, if he a hoe, he gonna still try to throw salt on your game or whatever. But
yeah, not a hoe.
I mean, how else would you describe the action? I think it's a whole move. That's just me.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
So
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Now after that, then it's okay, cool. I see she digging you more, or she asked you to dance, or she done did the chicken head your way, whatever the case may be.
Not the chicken head. Damn.
She done while looking at you. So we know what time it is. Like, okay, she want a chicken head with him. Cool. I'm finna go over here and teach somebody else how to Dougie, and we're gonna keep the party going.
All right. Nah, I feel you on that.
But Tyrese should have got his shit and left at that moment. He shouldn't have stayed on camera because he showed all that hurt on his face for the next 10 seconds of that video.
He can't. You always can see what's going on in Tyrese's head, like right in his face.
He got the worst memes out right now. He surpassed Jordan with the crying face and all that. Like his meme game is horrible. He got the saddest faces just all over the internet.
Now, what would you say to a woman who listens to us and is saying, this is our fragile male ego talking? Like we should be more secure in ourselves. We should be more secure in our relationship. That something like that should be able to be said without us feeling away.
I would ask her, would she be okay if her man mentions one of her friends that she might be a little insecure about? Every girl got that one friend that every girl got that one homegirl that snatches up all the attention every time they go out.
Mm.
I ain't gotta say.
Preach on it. Go ahead and preach on it. I'm gonna be quiet. Let me sit back. Go ahead.
Every girl got that homegirl. So if your man, if you were to catch your man liking one of her pictures or even commenting with heart eyes, he didn't say anything. He just commented with emojis. If you're okay with that, then cool. But if you're not okay with that, then you can't speak on how we feeling right now.
See, I know that any girl who says that they're cool with that, y'all lying.
And absolutely.
Because let me tell you, y'all be thinking like the male ego is bad. The woman's the way that your girl would already be at your neck for you saying some shit like that. Get out of here.
You would have cursed her whole family. You would have unfriended her, all her cousins, all of that.
At that point, I done tried her to the utmost degree.
They so fragile that let's say she had a friend that looked like Megan Good. Everybody called the friend Megan Good as her nickname or whatever, right? And let you happen to say, you don't mention a friend, you just happen to say, damn, Megan Good fine as hell. Because you watching the new trailer for the new Shazam movie and Megan Good pop up in her superhero costume. And you say, damn, well, she look really good in them purple tights. She fine as hell. She will take that as, oh, you think my friend fine as hell in purple tights. Ain't nobody seen your friend in purple tights. I'm talking about Megan Good. But since you done correlated, oh, he thinks Megan Good fine, everybody thinks she looks like Megan Good. Therefore, Megan Good is fine as hell to him. I got to unfriend this hoe. That's how women be thinking. And it's like, it's not that serious. I just thought, I wanted to see Shazam. She's in Shazam.
She happened to be there.
Happened to be there.
She happened to be there. I was cool with it. Now, you the one that made the comparison and said your friend looked like Megan Good. I didn't say that. But
right.
Now that you say that.
That's why you got to play stupid. Be like, hey, people say she looked like Megan Good. Do you agree? Well, I mean, now that you say something, I don't really look at her like that. So I guess if you squint a little bit, knowing damn well you done went back and told all your homeboys that's single, hey, y'all need to jump on this homegirl right now. She look,
hey, that is a lost art. The way nigga, and look, I'm gonna be very cool with how I say this. So y'all take, we trying something new. So y'all gonna see my face when I say it. There's an art to like, hey, I can't fuck her. But I'm going to find a little bit of satisfaction. I'm going to find a little bit of satisfaction that my homeboy fucked her, though. You're like, I can't fuck her. And I don't need to hear the story when he do. Like, I don't need to know the details and all of that. But
if he shared the details, you would listen. But you're not gonna go to him and be like, hey, tell me everything that happened. If he come and be like, yeah, I did that, you're going to be happy for him. Now, if y'all at the kickback or whatever, y'all having drinks, and he'd be like, yeah, man, so let me tell you about it. You're not finna be like, oh no, that's my friend. No, you're gonna be like, nigga, what was it like?
Nah, because we don't kiss and tell. But if you fuck, bro, talk to me.
Inquiring minds want to know.
But how? Look, I just need to know how we got there. Okay, so you picked her up. Okay, so you picked her up. Okay, y'all said, okay, I got some dinner. All right. Okay.
We don't care what your age is. Okay, y'all went to dinner. What happened after that?
All right. So how we got from dinner to your crib? Now that's the story. Like honestly, that's honestly all I want to know. I don't really I don't need to know that you hit her from the back. Like I don't need to know any of that detail. Get me from we was leaving the restaurant, or we was leaving the movies, and the vibe from there to you got the cheeks. Like that right there, that's the story. I don't need shit else.
Especially if it's a movie date, that's what a date is won at, between the movie and the victory. That's it. That's either way you talk yourself out of it or you seal the deal.
See, I'm a dinner and a movie person. So for me, we're gonna eat first. I'm gonna essentially be putting my bid in from the time I pick you up. You slamming shit, bro. We can't get shit out no more.
I know. I was like, damn, I hope he ain't catch that.
Hey, so I'm at a point where like, hey, I can't. Damn, you done made me lose my whole train of thought.
You a dinner and a movie guy, so you
I'm
go
a dinner and a movie
first.
guy. You're right. So I'm a dinner and a movie guy. I like to sit down. From the time I pick you up to the time we get to the movies later, like I'm putting my whole bid in from there. Talk game in, opening the doors, making sure as soon as you step out the car, hold your hand. Like I'm building the little intimacy moments. Those are intimacy breadcrumbs I'm building from the beginning. And I know I got it. By the time we get to the movies and you hit that little lean and you securing my arm right here, I'm straight. or the one that's a little better, if she take your hand and she grab your arm and put it on the thigh, I know I'm good. I know I'm good.
At that point, you don't need to say nothing else. Like, you're good. You're solid.
We solid. We'll see. And then whatever the vibe is. But that's the part of the story I really care about. But like I was saying, I'm sure Frank finds little satisfactions when he'll be like, so you agrees? Okay.
Yeah. Two happy single people. I want to see them come together. That's why you tell your homeboys, hey, look, you might want to holler at that friend right there. She's single. She got a good head on her shoulders. Figure out if she know what to do with it. Go talk to her.
You said she's single. She got a good head on her shoulders. Hey, try to knock that head off. Let me know. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't need no too much else. I don't care about two
Actually,
singles.
when we do try to put each other on, we don't even say all that. We just be like, hey, you need to go get that. That's it. Be like, I'm not gonna put you on to nothing that's trash. If I tell you go get something, hey, it's been vetted. Go. Like,
Now, we will let you know. We will let you know, hey, whether it's like, hey, because if I start telling you about like her other qualities that have nothing to do with her body, I think it's more than just a fuck. Like, I'd be like, hey, she got this going, she got that going for her, da 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 da. I'm giving you all of that. That's how you know it's a bit more.
Like, nigga, I'm trying to get you to not be single no more. Like, you can marry that one.
But
now, if she ain't shit, and a nigga ask you like, yo, hey, what's it with her homegirl? And a nigga look at you and do this.
I mean, she cute. Like, like, I mean,
because you don't want to shoot it down and be like, nigga, you got horrible taste. Be like, try to find the nicest way to be like, yeah, she cool peoples, but I don't know. You clearly know what the I don't know is, but you ain't trying to put nobody business out there. Be like, yeah,
I don't know.
But look, if you want to holler at her, I'm gonna just say this: be careful.
Hey, it is
like, what the fuck that mean? Had you ever hollered at the be careful?
Yeah.
You done got warnings. Nigga done told you. He done gave you the be careful, and you still went and did it. You ever did that?
Hey, look, even as a kid, sometimes, when the iron hot, you just want to see, like, it went from black to red. I want to see what it's like. Do it burn? Like, sometimes you just want to know.
Sometimes you got to touch the hot iron. That's how you learn. Then when you get back, you be like, damn, nigga, why you ain't like, nigga, I told you be careful. Like, I ain't wanna step on your dreams, but at the same time, I try to give you a little heads up.
Ah, man. I don't know, bro. Now we got a lot to get to. It's a lot on the agenda today. Some serious shit, some light shit. Talk to me. Where you want to start?
Let's start with Jonathan Majors. He's been
okay. We're gonna go heavy. All right.
I'm honestly, if you're looking at the topics, it's mostly heavy.
Yeah, it's been a busy week.
It has been. Jonathan Major made news not for his movies, but for an altercation that happened earlier in the week. He's accused of assaulting his girlfriend in the back of an Uber. Reports are saying that she tried to take his phone. An altercation ensued of him trying to stop her from taking the phone. She was then sent to the hospital with some minor bruises and lacerations. He was arrested, then released. She has since been released from the hospital. The lawyer went on record saying that Jonathan is innocent and that they have proof, such as driver testimony, her recanting what she said in the police reports and so forth. And then recently, I want to say yesterday, the attorney even released some text messages between the two, between Jonathan and his girlfriend. And I'm going to read the text to you now. So the text is from her to Jonathan, and it says, "Please let me know you're okay when you get this. They assured me you won't be charged. They said they said they had to arrest you as protocol when they saw the injuries on me. They knew we had a fight. I'm so angry they did, and I'm sorry you're in this position. We'll make sure nothing happens about this. I told them it was my fault for trying to grab your phone. I only just got out the hospital. Just call me when you're out. I love you." Then she sends another message. "They called again to check on me. I reiterated how this was not an attack and they do not have my blessing on any charges being placed. I read the paper they gave me about strangulations and said point blank that this did not occur and I should be removed immediately. The judge is definitely going to be told this. She ensured this to me. I know you have the best team and there's nothing to worry about. I just want you to know that I'm doing all I can on my end." Also said to tell the judge to know that the origin of the call was to do with me collapsing and passing out and your worry as my partner due to our communications prior. Out of care, she promised all will be relayed. So This is the interesting thing about this. Jonathan's attorney released this. Wait, I'm gonna give you 1 second. Jonathan's attorney released this as proof that he wasn't at fault, but this is going completely the other direction. What's your opinion?
So this started what, like 2 weeks ago at this point? 2 weekends ago? It's been about 10
Was
days.
it 2 weekends?
It's about 10. It's been about 10 days now.
Okay, I was going to say Monday, but yeah, it's still fresh. It's still fresh. Not even 2 weeks. Let's say that.
Yeah, it's been like 10, like 10, 11 days since it started, right?
Right.
Jonathan Majors has been like on the hot streak for his career right now. He's got
the 2 biggest movies of the year were his.
So far, and Ant-Man, that ain't nothing.
So far.
Yeah. Ant-Man ain't nothing to say it's a great movie about, but you got...
I said biggest movies of the year. I ain't say...
Okay. You got Ant-Man. Definitely semantics. You got Ant-Man, you got Creed, back to back. I think there was a time where he had the number 1 and number 2 movie in the world, in the country as well. Country as world, but whatever. He was on a hot streak. Just like
in America.
Yeah, we always...
Right.
No, I have a nothing thing to talk about. When we get a little further, like we'll get to that. There's something about Americans, like we hold ourselves above so much, and we wonder why people fucking hate us. But it's what it is. But he's had a hot streak. He's in the news everywhere. Him and Michael B. Jordan are like literally on every picture. Like they've been blasted everywhere for the last like couple weeks.
Right.
And then this story happens. Late, what, two Fridays ago, this story happens. And almost by Sunday, the damage control was like in full effect. Like by Sunday, we was all like, hey man, he gonna be all right. Like, you know what? He didn't do it. That Disney money was out there. They was spinning. Like, hey, the next 5 years of our movies are based off of this motherfucker here. They was doing all the cleanup that could be done. By the time the weekend was over, we were already at a point where, like, we couldn't even pull the cancel culture trigger because it was already like, hey, well, you know what? This is due to the bad rules in the New York. Like that's why he got arrested. They shouldn't have had to do that. And the Disney money was working. Like to me, I'm not saying it was a cleanup. I'm not accusing or whatever. But even an accusation, it would be far more fire under his ass than anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it seems like the cleanup was working really well. And then this couldn't have been part of Disney's team that did this. The Marvel Disney team, Kevin Feige wasn't a part of this shit. Oh, the releasing the text message, because the text messages only make it look like she's mentioning fight, strangulation. She's mentioning passing out. If it wasn't a fight or argument, why did she go to the hospital? Now, mind you, I'm a guy. Many of men have been through a situation where, like, I got my phone in my hand and my girl tried to snatch my phone, and it's like, hey, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And then shit can ensue.
Right.
But enough for her to have scars and in the act of getting your shit back, I could understand where it was like, hey, get off it. I could understand that type of bullshit. But I don't know. Something about this, like, before I was like, okay. But now, I don't know. Now I feel like they overcompensate when they was already kind of winning. Because as far as we were told, there was video. Where's the just put out the video and we could all move on with our lives, right?
And I think that's where his attorney fucked up. You put out the statement saying your client is innocent and you can prove it. Cool. Leave it at that. Until you have all your proof lined up, then release it. And even if you had one piece of proof that you wanted to put out something definitive, like the video that clearly shows what happened, and let it be a clear video. No grainy shit, no shit that's half cut off due to, seating positions or whatever. But to put this text message out tells me that the attorney is oblivious to to abusive relationships. Because the only thing this text message did was get hundreds of women or thousands of women throughout this country that experienced this type of relationship flashbacks, and it made them speak on their experiences. And all of them said basically the same thing. This reads as someone who's being abused and they're trying to cover up for their abuser. And they even go further. Like a couple of people actually put their messages out, like saying, hey, look, this was the message I sent to my husband right after he beat me, and someone called the police on. She didn't say she called the police. She said someone else called the police. Somebody else put a message out saying, yeah, this was me sending a message to my ex-boyfriend after his parents found out what he did to me. And they all read in a similar fashion, like, hey, look, I'm doing all I can to kind of protect you. We're going to get past this, and shit like that. And it's like, even if, because we don't know the truth yet, but even if Jonathan is innocent, this does not play well in the court of public opinion. Because even if he's proven innocent, people are going to say, well, he showed all the evidence of him being an abuser, and what they could tap into is there. So they're going to hold on to him being an abuser. So it's looking rough. He should probably fire that lawyer.
And there's now the argument of, because before at the beginning of the week, I saw a lot of women come into his defense, which was interesting to me. I saw a lot of women come into his defense, and I saw a lot of men who you would think would like women to be coming to his defense were more like, well, where's all that always believe black women shit that people be saying, right? Like, always believe a woman. But because we're talking about Jonathan Majors, and I think people have more emotional investment in him, and people don't really see him like that there was, and I'm just having a conversation. I am not here to say he's guilty or whatever, because I don't know. I think somewhere in the middle of all the stories, there's some truth somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But I find it interesting how many people were giving him grace at the beginning, because it's very rare that men get grace. And now, is that, what's your thoughts? Is that due to the DC, not DC, due to the Disney Marvel spin that was worked? Because whatever it was, by the time the weekend was over, it was a masterclass in how to get somebody out of some bullshit.
I think the reason people are giving him grace is it's not often where one of us is considered a top guy in Hollywood. And right now he's the top guy in Hollywood, so we kind of want to rally behind him. As from a cultural aspect, I think that's what it is. I haven't seen too many women riding for him. And if they are with, like, the women you see riding for him, I'm willing to bet anything that they're all black women. Black women ride for men in the public light like no other.
Right, for black men. Be
clear
about it. Be clear.
Yeah, definitely. But I know I have my biases. I don't want this to be true.
Same, 100%.
Now, if it is true, then of course he needs to face whatever punishment that's waiting for him. But in all honesty, I hope this is a huge misconception. Would I say that? I mean, the whole situation sounds plausible. Yeah, he was probably in his phone. He might have been texting somebody he had no business texting, or he might have been texting somebody that she may thought that, he had no business texting.
I'm gonna lead to, he probably was texting a bitch. He probably was like it's a strong chance he probably was texting a bitch. It is what it is. Like, we can admit that. It's hoes at him right now. Let's not act like that.
It's damn it feels like overnight he goes from being a decent actor to Hollywood's biggest star, like, boom, overnight. So I'm pretty sure that the playing field changed a little bit. Now you got different pitchers on the mound throwing at you.
Your access is different.
It's different. You batting a high average now. You got some of the premier pitchers throwing it at you. You might want to take a swing here and there. He not married. I mean, I could see that. So she probably reached for the phone. He might have did one of those, hey, chill out. You know what I mean? He a strong dude. Might have caught a forearm or something. It wasn't intentional. Could have happened. Now, they say she got lacerations around the neck. I can't explain that. Y'all gonna have to answer for those kind of questions.
You ever be look, and I'm not trying to come up with scenario, but like you ever been like trying to keep something from somebody and you gotta kind of
keep somebody at bay. Do one of these.
I gotta hold you at a certain point to kind of keep move back.
But they keep pressing against your hand. We sound really bad right now. I promise you, we're not abusive people.
I've never been in that situation, not like that, but like
we have making excuses saying, "Hey, you ever had your hand, motherfucker? Just you know what I mean? You ever had a knife and motherfucker just happened to walk into it?
No, jumped in that bit. Woke up dead."
That's not what we saying. That is not what we're saying. All we saying is we hope it's not true. Hopefully, the truth comes out and it kind of clears everything up.
But I'm gonna say, coming out of those text messages.
It ain't looking good.
I think that was a very bad misstep. That is not because I'm assuming that the video from the Uber driver, because I mean I'm sure they weren't recording video if they were in an Uber, if that's the story, right? Yeah. Whether he was driving or whatever, and the Uber driver has some camera somewhere. I'm sure it's not the best video because nobody's driving around with like, an iPhone camera in their thing just pointed at their back seat. But there's got to be something. There's got to be something.
I think
that's what needs to be. If on camera is exactly what they describe it to be, then just put that out, get that leaked to whoever you need to leak it to, and then we can all move on with our lives. But the text message, misstep.
Yeah, that was a misstep. If anything, I agree. Just release the video. And a side note, I think if you're driving Lyft, Uber, or any of these car service, it's to your benefit to have multiple cameras in that car. Have a camera on you and definitely have a camera in the backseat. Because some of the stuff I've seen that people do to these Uber drivers, it's crazy. You need evidence. You need some type of protection. But when somebody decides to pull out a gun and rob you, or they get into a fight in your car, or they start to vandalize your vehicle because you told them to put on a seatbelt and they refused to, or whatever.
Oh, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I've seen that bullshit.
It's like, dude, seriously? Hell, one of the people who was one of the creators or one of the early chairman of Uber or something like that, he was in an Uber. He was drunk. He was coming home from like a party or some shit. He flipped out on the Uber person and was cussing him out and even attacked him. That Uber person had a video. Now he was fired. I don't know what he's doing now, but he ain't no longer with Uber. But on to another heavy topic dealing with assault. Sexual assault. Sheryl Lee Ralph. I know. It's a heavy week.
Jesus Christ. Heavy. I really liked last week's episode. I was just fucking with you about my kid and like that was fun. This is not as fun.
I knew you enjoyed. You always enjoy messing with me. That's what you do. You love pushing buttons.
You know what's funny? You put yourself in that situation because I wasn't really going there. You made that happen.
You know what? I can admit my faults. Yeah, I did. I set myself up for that one.
Okay.
I gave you all the ammo you needed. Like, you know what? I didn't even plan on fucking with Frank like that. But since he went there first, I guess I could stay here. That's probably where you was at. See, that motion would ever be funny because when people see you do that right now, they don't know the story behind it.
One day. One day. But go ahead.
One day. Sheryl Lee Ralph, y'all know her from Moesha. Some of y'all know her now. Yeah, Aunt D. Some of y'all know her now from Abbott Elementary.
Mrs. Howard.
Yes. Emmy award-winning actress. She was on Angela Yee's show, The Way Up with Angela. And part of the show, she was talking about an incident that happened to her when she was younger in her career. And she tells a story that she was like at an event, a company event or whatever. And somebody walks up to her, grabs the back of her neck and pulls her and starts kissing her without her consent. When she pulls back from the person, it was a famous TV judge. And that's all she said. But she made sure to clear Judge Mathis's name. She was like, it wasn't Judge Mathis. He's a great man. It wasn't him. But the person that did it was a famous TV judge. And when it happened, other executives who were at the party, they saw what happened, and they went over to her and they told her like, "Hey, look, don't press no charges. We don't want the bad press or whatever." So they basically forced her quiet. So now on the Angela Yee show or whatever, she kind of told that story, but still she protected the person's identity. All she said was a famous TV judge. And of course, the internet being what it is, people gonna do their research. They're gonna try to figure out, well, who was the TV judge that would be at a same networking corporate event as she was. Again, she never confirmed anything, but some people started to piece together like it could have been Judge Joe Brown. Judge Joe Brown has since went on record saying, these are false rumors being spread that I mistreated a certain lady about 25 years ago. Both accusation and acquaintance with this lady are rumors, and he's also threatened a defamation lawsuit. The moment I saw this, the first thing I thought about was that Steve Harvey quote that I love to butcher. You know the one.
If you got
a rock and you
stop,
throw a rock in a pack of dogs. No, let me butcher it.
No.
If you throw a rock in a pack of dogs and one of them dogs happened to holler, then that's the dog that was hit.
I mean, you got the gist of it, but you added way more words than Steve Harvey added to a already very. If you throw a rock in a pile of dogs, the one that hollers is the one you hit, and that's essentially
he could have just
what
said "hit dog holler." That's it. We know what it means. It's an old saying. But yeah, Judge Joe Brown had no business speaking up. But in truth, we all know it was him. He looked like a nasty ass nigga.
Okay, all right. I haven't watched Judge Joe Brown. I guess now, like when we were younger, we could spend time watching whatever, because you knew you would watch. You get your Jerry Springer in, your Maury. That's after like all the whatever the good black classic shows were on, the Different Strokes, Good Times, 227, whatever it was that we were watching, whatever was in syndication at the time. Then we'd watch those, and then at that point, your good kid cartoons would come on, your Animaniacs and all that other shit. But that was the time where your parents would watch like the judge shows, and that's where I might peek and watch Judge Maybelline. Give me another one, Judge Judy.
Judge Judy, she was the most popular. There was Judge Maybelline, Judge Judy, Judge Mathis, Judge Joe Brown. I want to say it's maybe one or two more. But at that point, every network had a judge show.
I didn't come up on Judge Joe Brown. So I don't have no. Judge Mathis always say some weird shit about crackheads, at least like once or twice a year. I think it's just to keep him, to keep a good internet clip around. He always say something about some crackheads. But I don't know Judge Mathis for anything.
You mean Judge Joe Brown?
That he came out at, like, he literally, like from the back of the room, he was like, "Oh, it was me. I did it." I did it. I'm the one she talking about. When she didn't say your name.
Yeah, it was somebody.
Because there's been other male judges that been on TV for the last 25 years. It might not have been him. Hell, Steve Harvey is somehow a judge.
Is he?
Yeah, Steve Harvey have a judge show.
Seriously?
You think I'm bullshit?
I do.
All right, nigga.
But yeah, him shouting out from the back of the room, "These are false rumors." Like, bro, ain't nobody say your name. Honestly, had you not said nothing, if you would have just gave it a week, talks would have died down. You would have went back to your normal life without people accusing you for shit. A lot of celebrities are treating our current day in media like it's still 1992 or something. News travels way faster now. People got the attention span of goldfish. If somebody say something slick about you now, just wait a week. People forget. I mean, I don't care how serious it is. I mean, just look at Russell Simmons.
Don't you really on this Russell Simmons thing?
I'm just saying, it's relevant. They accused that man of sexual assault. That nigga got quiet and left the country. Ain't nobody talking about chasing him. Ain't nobody saying shit. Now he's all up in Bali getting flipped upside down by some bald head dude. He look happy.
That shit really bothered you. You've been talking about that for a few days now.
I mean, dude, it just looked ridiculous. Had you not seen the video?
I have seen the video.
Would you be okay getting flipped like that?
I wouldn't get flipped like that. But there it is right there. He wear all black suits and he solve people problems.
This nigga ain't go to nail law school.
They there to hear his wisdom.
That's ridiculous, bro. That is ridiculous.
Man, look. I hate that she went through that. I hope that at the end of the day, it's not too crazy. Like, you know, it doesn't haunt her in any way. But I don't know. I don't know about that one. I've just never seen. Let me tell you, there's certain things that people don't like to be accused of. And I get that. But I wouldn't volunteer to be accused of something because I would have just been like, oh, it wasn't me.
Just stay quiet.
Just like, it wasn't me, so I'm going to be quiet.
Yeah. Be like, hey, Marvin, did you do that? Do what? Well, you know, Sheryl Lee Ralph was saying this happened to her. Damn, that's fucked up.
That's crazy.
Who she said do it? Well, she said a TV judge. You was the TV judge. It wasn't me. You got to ask one of them other TV judges. I don't know.
I ain't never.
But let me ask you this though: if you was in Sheryl Lee's position, let's say you at a company's party and one of the higher ups did something you didn't like, whatever it is, I don't give a fuck what it was, and somebody came to you and be like, "Hey, Marvin, don't say nothing." Do you think you have the willpower not to speak, or do you feel obligated to do something?
It depends on how many zeros on the check, to be honest.
That's a real answer, I guess. Yeah.
I think everybody got a price.
I guess that would probably explain why Terry Crews never did nothing when Adam Bennett touched him. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that story.
Because it's a similar situation. You were sexually assaulted. You ain't do shit. Trying to protect your Hollywood career.
Does he have a Hollywood career?
He's no leading guy. He's no Wesley Snipes or Will Smith or anybody who started movies, but he had aspirations to be that. I think Terry Crews wanted the career that The Rock has.
Maybe. But he didn't have. The Rock had such a launching pad, like prior to, and he made bad movies. Like, let's not like he was. This is the man who also was the Tooth Fairy. So,
oh no, The Rock made bad movies, but he has that grace. Like you said, he went from being literally top 2, if not number 1 biggest star in WWF to movies. I mean, just the name alone, people are going to buy into it. That's hard to beat. If you're just an actor, it's hard to beat.
I don't disagree. But what about you?
I guess it'll have to come down to 2 things. The number of zeros.
All right.
And who in my family or my close friends witnessed it, and I'd be more embarrassed of their judgment of me versus a whole bunch of strangers in the room judgment of me. For example, if I'm in the room.
Go ahead. If you're in the room with who?
Let's say if it's my mother and she saw me get assaulted like that, to sit in that car and have her looking at me like, damn, I raised a bitch. That's a lot of weight I had to carry. I might have to hit you because I don't want to have to sit in that long ride home with my mother looking at me like, damn, I raised a whole hole out here in these streets.
You dropped 10 G's in her lap. She'll look at you a different way though. Be like, yeah, Mom. But look at this though. Whole lap. No, there's all them zeros on that check. I believe everybody got a little bit of a price at some point. Matter of fact, I saw this video.
The glory hole?
Yes, the glory hole video.
Yeah.
Where it's the video where they're like, hey, would you stick your peen in a glory hole for $500,000, but you don't know who's on the other side? It could be
It's
male,
a 50-50 chance whether it's a man or a woman.
50-50 chance.
But you don't know.
You can't see it. That's the point of the glory hole.
Right.
Would you do it? And I'm gonna ask
every
you,
man he interviewed said, I'll take that chance.
Would you?
At the end of the day, just lie to yourself. You go
no, but the answer is you do find out afterwards. Regardless, you go and find out if it was a male or a female.
I get the money though, right?
That happened already. You did your part of the deal,
and nobody's pulling the rug up from up under me. I get the money. I'ma just think you lying.
No. Like Buddy come from around the corner.
No, I'm still saying you're lying.
He hit you with the.
Oh no, y'all just fucking with me. I'ma just be in crazy denial. No, you're just fucking with me. He ain't do it. They're gonna be like, nah, this is video. Nope, don't want to see it.
Move that shit. Got shit to do with me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. I seen another one where a guy was like, they asked a question, like, would you let another man suck your dick for like $10 million? And they asked this black dude, and he's like, nah, I wouldn't do it. And the other guy was like, you got to be out your fucking mind if you don't think that I let another man suck my dick for. He's like, do you know how much $10 million is? He's like, can you imagine going back to your family and say, hey, I missed out on an opportunity that would get all of us out of poverty because I ain't want this to happen. He's like, that would be a much tougher conversation than you saying that, hey, I might be gay. I'm like,
well,
you got a point.
I mean, he's
everybody got that number.
Hey, one of the dudes was saying that too. He was like, well, one of the guys, he brought up the fact, he was like, hey, if you get in head, that don't make you gay.
It does.
Thoughts?
It does. Now, if you want to play on, if you want to have the conversation of what's gay, what's not gay, people think that if you get pegged by your girl, that's gay. When I feel that's not gay. However, if you let another man fuck you, that's gay. I believe a sexual act between the same sex is gay. But if a girl is penetrating you, that's not gay. Because it's not a gay act.
I wouldn't say, okay, so I believe sexuality is a spectrum, right? Like, there's extremely straight, and I'm trying to stay in the camera. There's extremely straight and whatever the other side, like
extremely gay,
homosexual. I don't want them to be opposite.
You don't want it to sound bad?
No, I just don't want it. I don't know if they're opposites. Like, I don't know. Because I've never thought, like, what's the opposite of straight? I guess is anyway, because sexuality is a spectrum. But like, if you was leaning to a side, if we had to talk about it, getting pegged by your girl is still closer to the straight side.
It is. It doesn't cross the middle. So if you got a spectrum, it don't cross the middle. It's not going to be on this side. It's not going to be on the extremely straight side. It's going to come over a little bit, but it ain't going to cross that middle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, if you say, say you watch a little gay porn and your dick jump, now you cross that middle part. It's a little gay. You know what I mean? You never had sex with another man, but you just, you watch some gay porn, dick got a little happy. Makes you a little gay.
I don't know if it makes you a little gay, but it means you're not all the way straight.
Yeah. See, you cross that middle part on the spectrum.
Because sexuality is a spectrum. Okay.
Yeah, it's a spectrum. Just, a little bit.
Okay. We navigated that the best we could. We navigated that the best we could. What else you got on the board, bro? I don't know. Speaking of prices, I'll just
I'm
do
about to
that.
say.
Let me do one nice thing before you gallop into all the other bullshit that's left on the board.
Yeah, because again, it's heavy topics. We might as well keep it on the light note and jump into your topic because the other two of my topics are heavy.
So let's talk about it. Speaking of everybody having a price, there's also another video going around where a young man, you know, those new like videos where people are going around
They approach you on the street with their cell phone. Yeah.
The cell phone is now the new mic and they just put it in your face and they're like, hey, da 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 da. So there's the video. I'm sure all of you have seen it by now. If not, we'll link it in the description area. But there's a guy walking around asking people, hey, would you rather $250 in food stamps or dinner with Soulja Boy? And 10 times out of 10, I don't think anybody took the dinner. Any of the women,
10 out of 10.
Any of the women took the dinner with Soulja Boy. And they, they was like, oh, that nigga trash. Like, not that he trash, but.
No, I think somebody said that. Definitely somebody called him trash.
I think they said that they didn't really, like, he's a nobody now. Like, he ain't that serious. And that pissed young Soulja off. Big Draco.
That nigga was big mad.
That nigga said, y'all ain't never seen $1 million. Fuck New Jersey.
I don't know why you got mad at the whole city of New Jersey. Like, damn, it was only 10 women. I'm not gonna lie though. I felt I could have did better than that. Somebody choose $250 in food stamps over me? Like,
Frank,
I ain't gonna say I would have bat 10 for 10, but it wouldn't have been like what you had, bro. Like, damn,
Frank, you full of shit. You full of shit.
You think people take $250 in food stamps over me?
Nigga, I think Maria take $250 over food stamps over you.
Oh, hell no. You got me fucked up.
I'm going to tell you
I am way more valuable than $250 in food stamps.
Nigga, it's just one dinner with you. It's one dinner. It don't mean y'all can't never be together. But that she don't have to have dinner with you for one night and get $250 of food stamps. She going to take that shit. Do you see how high groceries is? Eggs is... Let me tell you, my neighbor got some eggs delivered the other day and it was just sitting in the front of her house, like an Amazon package. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought about it. Nigga ain't had an omelet in a little while because eggs high as fuck. But I looked at that crate. She had a crate of eggs. Like I'm talking at least 24 eggs.
Oh, she bought
6 missing eggs. I think her and them kids would have been fine.
See, if you'd have did some shit like that, I would have looked at you sideways. Like, if you gonna steal my egg, just steal the whole carton. That would have pissed me off more if I would have opened it and just saw 6 missing.
Yeah, but I'm leaving you 18 eggs.
No, man, if you're gonna steal my shit, steal my shit. Don't fucking tamper with it. And, oh, nigga, I was just trying to bake a cake. I only needed 6. Bitch, didn't come and ask me for it. Let me hand you the 6. Don't
so
just
instead of Miani, I should take your whole family. That was your chance to do a callback and say, come again. You did not. And
no,
then,
fuck you, Marvin.
Okay.
Fuck you.
This whole time you was trying to find words? You all right?
Yeah, I was going to try to find words without cuss words. I couldn't do it.
Bro?
You.
I say it with love.
Liar.
Wow, okay. I got love in my heart for your family.
Kiss my ass.
Bro, what is going on? You need a hug. Let me text Marie.
I wish you would. I wish you would. I wish you would.
Oh, shit. I'm done. All right, go ahead. I can't text your wife and say, give you a hug. That's wrong.
That is wrong.
Okay. All right, do your thing, man. I can't wait till she listen to that episode, though.
Oh, you know she will. And when she do, she is right into the group chat. What's up with all this?
She already saw the clip. And she was like, I don't know what's going on, but I need to go listen. I said,
oh, I know when she saw the clip because I heard her from the other room. Oh! That's what my wife said when she's surprised. Oh! No.
Oh shit.
Oh,
All right,
but
I
yeah.
guess we done laughing.
Yeah, just bring it back down just a little bit. Well, no. I take that
we
back.
don't need
It's a lot of
to.
bit.
We don't got to stay forever on these topics, but go ahead. I'm here.
It's been another mass shooting in America. I want to say
I want to
we're
say it's
in
the
March.
100 and I want to say it's the 129th mass shooting of the year. If I
I was
remember
about
the
to say
stat.
we're over 100 right now, which is it's crazy. Unfortunately, 6 people were murdered. 3 of the 6 were children. They were all 3 of the children were age 9. The shooter has been identified as 28-year-old Audrey Hale, who was a former student of the school.
Hmm.
All the news outlets are making a point to disclose that this person is identified as transgender. I don't think that makes any difference on the issue.
Nothing to do with the bullets that hit
Exactly.
children, but go ahead.
And I mean, this took place in Nashville, Tennessee. It's an unfortunate event. And let me ask you this. Well, first of all, do you believe in gun control?
Do I believe in gun control?
Yes.
I believe that there should be a level of gun control. Yes,
Okay.
100%.
So if I were to ask you to put on your politician hat right now and say, hey, Marvin, we have this issue in this country. How can we solve it? What would be your solution?
My solution to that, there needs to be that we need to take a real look at what we're doing with these ARs, with these assault rifles. Like, I'm not saying no one should have them, but there needs to be a certain control about who can get them. Because at a certain point, why do you need one? You, me, we live in suburbia. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's urban, but we live in suburbia. What is the need for you and I to have an AR, an assault rifle in our home? What am I doing? What am I doing with an M4 in my house? An AK-47 in my house. And the only reason you would have it, because a lot of people are going to say, to defend from the idiots who do have it. But how are they getting access to it? Now, I try not to do a lot of political, try not to get into the political minutia. It's so early because you know how I am. You told me about the Trump indictment. I have not been following that shit whatsoever. We're going to talk about that a little later. It's on the agenda. But I have not been following that shit. I am still exhausted from 2020. I'm still exhausted from that whole run. So
that was an exhausting year.
It was. But you can't make it make sense to me that in the same week that we have another tragedy where children lose their lives, that we're going to choose to bring up a law in the state that somehow we reside in. You know how I hate claiming that I live in Florida. But somehow in Florida, they have okayed a bill to carry concealed weapons with no permit. In the breath of the same week. These kids' bodies not even in the grave yet. These teachers' bodies aren't even in the grave yet. And we are, hey, anybody could carry a gun. It's just now easier access. And I heard people try, and I know I'm on a diet. I know I'm on a whole thing, but I've heard people say...
that's the next point that I was going to lead into it, and I just want to catch people up. The bill that Marvin is talking about just recently, Florida passed a bill that would allow gun owners to forego background checks and permits to carry a concealed weapon. So, go ahead.
I know that there are those out there who are going to say, well, people are getting the guns anyway.
Right.
And I heard a Republican say that if a crazy person is going to get a gun, crazy is the word that they threw out there. If someone who is determined to hurt people are going to go and get a gun, they're going to do it anyway. So why should we restrict it? And I could use that exact same argument as if someone who wants to hurt someone can get a gun anyway, why make it easier?
It only makes sense.
I took the class. I went in there. I watched it because it's not like you just get to go write some shit down. They make you sit down in that shit for a couple hours unless you got a plug, you paid a little extra, whatever. I know that shit happens. But you go into class, they make you watch the videos, they literally educate you. It may not be the greatest of educations. It's only a few hours to hold a weapon that can take somebody's life. But there is at least some sort of step. They make you shoot the gun in the little compression shit. You know what I'm saying? They at least let you feel it. Like there's some power in this shit. Like you hold the power of somebody's life in it. In your hand. Boom, you shoot it, then they take it out, clear it, and then they move on to the next person. How are we just like, nah, you don't need all that? It's weird to me. It's weird to me for it to, especially if it's happening in the exact same week, because you know it's passing.
Oh, absolutely.
DeSantis is going to pass it because we all see what he's gearing up for.
A presidential run.
It's either a presidential run, because I have my own feelings about how the Republicans feel about Trump, but they are building him up. He is the prime guy that they want in that seat.
I would agree.
Even though I feel like even at that point, they're leaning so far right that they're going to miss the people in the middle. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not trying to help their political strategy, but I just find this whole thing just is such a weird dynamic. I'm going to let you speak. I feel like I've been talking for a long time.
Nah, you're good. Their whole premise of a good guy with the gun beats a bad guy with the gun is crazy to me. Because how many times have we seen it where there's somebody causing harm with a weapon and then somebody comes in with the weapon and stops them? It's not often. Usually when a bad guy has a gun and he's using it, he's going to inflict a lot of damage before he's caught. And when he's caught, he's either on a run at that point where his damage has already been done. I mean, where was your good guy with the gun when you had that person shooting up at the elementary schools and that the officers just sat back and waited and stopped parents from going in and trying to rescue their own children? You had good guys with the gun on payroll and they didn't do shit. You get what I'm saying? So the whole issues of, well, if these people have guns, let's put guns in everybody's hand to stop these people. No, it makes no sense. That's like, hey, he has gasoline on him and he happened to set himself on fire. Let's douse him with more gasoline. Gasoline is wet. Hopefully that'll drown out the fire. It doesn't fucking work like that. By making weapons accessible to people, you just give them a weapon. Is essentially it's a tool. Give them access to the tool, they're going to use it. If you restrict access from the tool, they're probably going to find something else to do whatever it is they want to do. If they happen to grab a knife, they grab a knife. And if they're going to kill someone, so be it. But at least they don't have the power or the ability to kill 40 people in 30 seconds. With a knife, he might get a couple people. And it's unfortunate that those people would have to go like that, but at least countless of other lives would be saved because he doesn't have the capacity of mowing people down.
This is an American problem.
Yeah, no other country deals with this.
I mean,
none.
I'm sure there's some third world countries that deal with this shit, but
no, first world countries that deal with this. And then when in other first world countries, when they had a mass shooting, they acted immediately to restrict firearms or make them illegal or whatever the case. Here, not so much. Here, it's like they're ramping up and making it easier for people. Why would you not want to give somebody a background check to get a gun?
Because more people can buy guns.
Yeah, I know that, but like logically thinking, like what sense does that make to say, hey, I'm going to give you access to this? And no, I don't care to know about your past. I don't care to know if you have, any mental condition or that you have a past criminal record or shit like that. Just, you can have this. They're so stupid.
Well, if more people buy guns, the gun industry makes more money, and there's more money to the politicians that get that. It's just that simple.
If Florida becomes an open carry state and we wanted to change that, we've just got to take a page out of the Black Panthers book and every black person just wears a gun on their hip. Be like, hey, it's legal. It's an open carry. I can wear this while walking into the Waffle House.
How many of us are lost to that though?
What you mean?
How many of us lose our lives to that? Because the perception, what were we gonna say?
I said that's the thing. It's like
the perception of the perception of a white guy carrying his gun on his hip, very visible for people to see, was very different from me, Marvin, with my hoodie, with a gun on my hip.
Oh, of course, absolutely. It's one of those things where if like you ever seen,
that was a lot. Putting that hoodie over this headphones. That was a lot. I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue.
It's like you ever seen when some dudes are trying to jump a bigger guy, and somebody has to go in first to engage them, so the other people could jump in on them, and nobody wants to take that first lick. It's kind of like that. Like who's gonna be the first people to wear the gun on their hip? Because you don't, like you said, we understand the perception of us. Last thing I want is to say, hey, I'm following the law. I have a gun on my hip. I'm not brandishing it. I'm not pulling it out or anything. But somebody's going to be like, well, no, you still have a gun. Dead man can't tell no tales. So if I kill you, I can say, hey, he had his hand on it. I got him before he got me. They're going to believe that cop story 10 times out of 10. Even if there is video.
More times than not. More times than not.
So, I mean, Florida is becoming a scarier, is becoming scarier by the minute. What he's doing to the education system down here, now this shit, like, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people who's born and raised in Florida, especially minority people, start to look at this shit and say, you know what, man, fuck this. I don't want no part of this state. My kids ain't gonna get the education they deserve. I damn sure don't want to run around with Florida crazies with guns on them. I mean, there's enough bullshit that happens in this state to deal with. Now I know anybody could get the shit legally. I'm good.
Yeah, you can have it.
Yeah, y'all
can have it. It ain't that serious to me. You got it.
I ain't been to the beach here in years anyway, so it's okay.
Oh man. That shit is scary, bro.
It is. I don't know how we're gonna segue to this last topic.
You don't have to segue. We just talked about DeSantis, him amping up to run for president. Quick aside before I'll hit you with the transition. Quick aside. I randomly have like these random thoughts in my head, right?
Go ahead.
And I was listening to like people who weren't born here talk about America, and they're from overseas, not like South and not Central and South America. They're from overseas, Europe.
Like Europe, okay.
And I'm hearing them talk about America, and you can hear like the almost annoyance of how Americans perceive themselves. And I listened. I eavesdropped. I was people watching. I was at a little restaurant, for lunch on the beach, and I was just like chilling. And I happened to just take my AirPod out in between, and I found their conversation interesting. And I'm hearing them talk, and I'm gonna bring the conversation to you. They were talking about how Americans wonder why so many people have a strong disdain for this country. And even in the way we talk about the president, like how is it that we decided, whether it was through media or whatever, but it was decided that we were going to brand the president the most powerful man on the planet. This is the most powerful man in the world. Now, there are probably a lot of arguments for that to be true. But imagine you're another one of those world powers and you hear that.
It comes off as arrogant. But at the same time, if that man is in charge of the most powerful military in the world, then I'm not going to check him if he says that.
Okay, so essentially, people with the most guns have the most power. Essentially. Okay, so that's why Florida's doing it. All right, it's fine. We'll move on from there. I guess I'm just trying to make logic out of it. But like you said, we were talking about DeSantis. We were talking about
but the logic you made out of it is it's all part of. I believe it's all a part of DeSantis' political ploy. There's no way to appeal to the red counties and the red state and Republicans than to double down on the Second Amendment right.
Got to bear them arms.
He's going to win a lot of votes with that shit. Be like, hey, look, he made getting guns easier in Florida. He's the man. It's like,
if he can't do it, nobody can. Right. Speaking of his opponent in the Republican Party, who finds a new, I'm not gonna lie, he does find a new funny way to say DeSantis every time he gets on TV.
It's finally happening. He's been indicted.
We'll talk about your boy Trump.
Trump faces more than 30 counts related to business fraud.
30 counts? It was 30 counts?
More than 30
I didn't know that.
He's a wild boy. He's expected to be brought into court tomorrow. Well, this episode will air on Monday, so tomorrow, Tuesday, he's expected to be brought into court. The investigation by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office began when Trump was still in the White House and relates to a $130,000 payment made by Trump's attorney, Michael Cohen, to Stormy Daniels in late 2016, right before his president election, to silence her. This is the first time in American history that a current or former president is facing criminal charges. But guess what, though? If he wanted to run for president again, he still can. So if he beats these charges,
what are the rules?
If he beats these charges, he could still run for president.
Okay, but if he's
convicted, I believe that he more than likely, if he's convicted, he'll probably be serving a prison sentence. And I mean, you can't get elected president if you're in jail. At least I hope not. Because I thought you needed a college degree to be in the Senate. And you don't even need a college degree to do that shit.
I don't know. What made you think that? Why'd you think that?
Because, I mean, you become one of the more powerful people in this country at that position. I would think that would require some form of higher education to operate at that level.
I'll say that. I'll counter with this. And this isn't to defend any of them, but I'll counter with this. We both are in positions in our lives where, in hindsight, did you necessarily need that degree to do what it is that you're doing right now?
No.
Okay. And you find yourself to be pretty successful?
Right.
Okay. So I think you're an intelligent person. I hope you consider me to be an intelligent person.
I do.
So
now, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Would you drive on a road would you drive on a bridge that was completed by someone who just finished a degree in engineering, or somebody who's a licensed engineer and proved they understood the craft?
I think this is counterproductive to your point, but I'll go with the licensed engineer who's been doing it.
No, it's not counterproductive to some point. That's my point. You would want to follow somebody, or you would want to work with somebody that is proven to understand, that they have the knowledge to understand what they're doing. That's why it was baffling to me that somebody, the senator out of Colorado, what's her name? Not Marjorie Taylor Greene, the other dumb lady. I think she just got her GED. And it's like, why do we have to listen to you again? How are you?
So you talking down on people who got GEDs and high school degrees? Is that how you feel?
I'm talking down on her.
Okay.
Those other people don't make decisions that affect my everyday life. And if they did, then yeah, I'll talk down on them too.
But see, I think you could be in a position of power and having the, like, let's say you decided to run, right? You decided to run. You have a college degree, but you have no sort of political science background and all of that. There's a chance you could still get elected just because of how, hey, you run a business well. Trump became the president. He ran a business semi. He made himself rich. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. He made himself rich. But it shows you had certain management skills. Like you could be, I don't need the person who runs a Fortune 500 company or the person who runs Apple to be the best IT person in the world. You're probably not the best person for the big job. It's not always like that. Like you could just be good at your job, and you don't always need to go. As someone who only got a college degree 3 years ago, I think I did fairly well for myself prior to with my high school diploma. So I think I could have done certain things when you just get certain education by just being in the positions. Like you don't have to be. You could have been like someone who worked in the senator's office, but you saw the way things work. Like, you have contacts on the Hill and all that other shit. And you run and you win. I wouldn't be totally against you. And I find out, oh, he don't got a degree. So I'm like, oh, can't trust him to run my little district because he don't have a college degree. You know how many people got college degrees that are dumb as fuck?
A lot. President Trump has a college degree.
Well, I've never called him
that. I think that's the first time I called him that.
I heard you say it and they hit me like, have you ever called him that? But go ahead.
But you supplemented the degree with years of experience in the position. And that's fine. When people defended Trump running for president or promoted him for running for president, saying, oh, well, he ran successful businesses or whatever. You got to understand, running a country isn't the same as running a business. Like, the goals are completely different.
Wish you had told people that 6-7 years ago.
I did. They didn't care to listen. They figured, well, he made a lot of money for his business, so the country's economy is going to do great. No, nigga, that's not how it works. It's not like America's going to be selling Omaha steaks to China and shit, and then our economy increases. No, it don't work like that.
It really don't.
So let's say if they made it a requirement where it's like, hey, if you're going to run for politics, or if you want to make politics your career, you would need to understand some of the basics of politics, where you had to get like a bachelor's in political science, where you learn what amendments are, you learn, what the 3 branches of government are and what their actual purposes are. Then cool. Because it's not cool when you have politicians getting on camera and saying some outlandish shit that just isn't true. Oh, this is a political ploy by the far left. No, bitch, it's not that. He committed a crime and he has to pay for it, like every fucking other citizen in this country. But when you get people in these high positions just talking out their ass because they don't know no better, I think that's stupid. I think that's counterproductive for the country. So I may not agree on all your political points. You may, I'm pretty sure there's an intelligent person who can speak eloquently as to why every American deserves to bear arms. I would love to hear that person speak. I don't want to hear the person speaking saying, yeah, every American should have a gun because that's their God-given right. Why did we elect you if that's the best argument you have?
We didn't need you to tell us that.
Right. Like,
that wasn't news.
I'm not saying, all the far right, I'm not saying all their points are are stupid or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you have people to defend those points, at least let them be of a certain intelligence where they could, where it would make sense that, okay, I understand where you're coming from. Let's find somewhere in the middle. Or you're coming from, you're approaching it with some sort of logic that we can work with. But if it's coming from people that just seems like they're talking out the side of their neck, or they're just purely speaking from emotions because they don't have the knowledge or the background or anything that will qualify them for this position, I don't want to talk to that person. I don't think we get anywhere with that person.
Okay.
Like when Obama was president, did Obama have experience in everything he did or everything he was in control of? No. But he appointed people that was either doctors or had some type of advanced degree in that field. So the person who was Secretary of Education, it wasn't somebody who just went to private school and that was married to a wealthy business person. Nah, he got somebody that had multiple doctorates in education to be the Secretary of Education.
Well, Frank, that's what most presidents do.
Not most presidents don't do well.
Yeah, they do. Most presidents do that.
The last one didn't. I'll say that.
I'll say this. Ben Carson should have been Surgeon General, maybe. I could see that.
Did some in health, yeah. But they had him over HUD.
I could see why he could be on a cabinet. Why he was running HUD? Horrible idea.
Okay, so we're on the same page there.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, there were educated people in the room. They were just probably sitting in the wrong seats, and in a administration that just wasn't about listening to everybody. I wonder how much shit got past us because we were so focused on COVID for like 2 years. I wonder how much shit got past us during that time. I keep telling y'all that they announced that aliens were real, and y'all still letting that slide. But it's like, I don't know how that's still, to this day, I still don't know how that's not bigger news. Like, y'all still sitting there around like, yeah, I mean, they said UFOs. Marvin said it and I Googled it, but I mean, like, it wasn't on CNN or nothing like that. So whatever.
Because right after they said it, Trump probably said some shit, and that fucking took up all the news attention that was out at the moment. It's I don't know, man. I just think politics is bullshit sometimes. A lot of times, all the time.
There's a lot of that. One last thing I kind of want to bring up because people in my group chat considered. So I don't know if you heard, but they're talking about releasing the killer whale from the seaquarium back.
Oh, I heard about. I seen that this morning.
Lolita, correct? Like that's her name, right? They're talking about releasing her back into the wild. She's been at the seaquarium for what, 50 years?
50 years, yeah.
An animal that hasn't hunted in 50 years, and they're just going to put her back out in the ocean. They're like, but what I keep hearing is, but her family, they believe her mom is still out there. I don't know how they know that, but they say her 95-year-old mom is still out there swimming, so she should be able to find them. Like the ocean not big. Like,
unless the mother is geotagged, I don't know. And then on top of that, if I'm not mistaken, on a documentary, Blackfish, it's a great documentary if you haven't seen it. Orcas in captivity, I want to say they don't, like 50 is old for an orca whale in captivity. So I don't know if she's going to make that journey, because I believe like her pod, her family, where she comes from, is like from the Pacific Northwest. That means you're going to take her from South Florida all the way to around Seattle, Washington or someplace over there and drop her back in the water. That's a long ass trip. I don't know if she's going to make it. I'd be surprised if she make it. And then if she does make the trip, like you said, she never hunted in the wild before. She was born in captivity. She never hunted in the wild.
She was born in captivity?
If I'm not mistaken.
So her mom, so they released her mom? Is that what happened?
Yes,
I just saw that they were releasing her and I was like, well, that sounds like a bad idea. But
if I'm not mistaken, they had her mother. She was born. They had her, and then after a while, I believe they released her mother back into captivity. and then they just kept her
back into the wild.
back into the wild. Oh yeah, there we go. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's how it worked. Or they might have sold her mother to another privately owned aquarium, and then maybe that privately owned aquarium released her. It's a weird animal trade thing that goes on with these aquariums. A lot of them are not like Metro Zoo that are state funded. A lot of it is somebody with real deep pockets, and they open up an aquarium. So it's not really regulated how it should be.
Okay. I thought I would ask because I didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish the best for Lolita, but I ain't too high on thinking like my optimism on all of this that okay, she's gonna get reacclimated to the wild and she's gonna live out the rest of her days, you know, in a nice big ocean and all good. Nah, I don't know about all that, man. That's a lot. Like hell, you couldn't even pull that shit off with humans. Have somebody born in a box and then one day say, hey, here, you in Miami. Your mama lives somewhere around here. You find her. Good luck.
Yeah.
Person end up dead or in jail quick as shit. And there ain't no jails in the ocean. So
dead is the option.
That is the option.
Well, this was a morbid ass episode of Samurai Professionals Podcast. Great way to start the first video version of it.
First video that we're gonna release.
Yeah, I mean we've done a couple of these.
I fucked up the last one.
Yes, 100%. That could never air because Frank started sharing like porn on the screens. So yeah, there that was.
My bad.
Well, because we probably we can't put vibes of the week on YouTube. Maybe we'll find a way to keep it in the audio version. But we fumbled through this one, boss. I am so happy for us. I'm so proud. What you getting into for the rest of the week?
I'm gonna try to go to the fair tomorrow. If my wife stops yelling at me. I threw her pastries away. She's big mad.
You threw her pastries away?
Yeah. She had some like croquetas and empanadas in the refrigerator. It was trash day. I was taking stuff out. It happened to be one of the things I grabbed. Threw it out.
How long had they been there?
Shit.
How long had they been in there?
Not even 24 hours.
Okay, yeah, you're wrong for that. You're wrong for that.
She was mad. She might still be mad. Her sister even texted. Like, you know what'd be real good right now? Some pastries. Like, really? Auntie Monica? Like, I'm working. Don't text me.
Are they together or something?
No. This is Monica's her best friend. Like, whenever she, you know, like, again, remember we talked about this before. Every woman has that one friend that's going to ride with them no matter what. That's Monica for my wife. So if something ever would have happened to me, I'm going to need them to question first.
Remember, this was recorded here. Remember to check on your friends, guys. Check on your friends. Because
text me, call me tomorrow. Make sure I'm okay. Because if I'm not okay, more than likely it was my wife and Auntie Monica.
So y'all headed to the fair. That's not the worst idea.
No, because it's not the last weekend. The fair is only a bad idea on the first and last weekend.
You're right.
Everything in the middle. It's best to go to the fair in a weekday, in my opinion.
I agree 100%. I'll do that. I'll do that before I do anything else. I'll go to the fair.
Go to the fair between Tuesday and Thursday. Best days to go to the fair.
Hit the fair. Go hit the rounds. I'm going to get the elephant ear, get some Chinese food, get the little donuts.
There's a good Chinese food spot at the fair?
There used to be. I haven't been to the fair in probably like the last 2-3 years, to be honest. So I don't remember. I remember I used to be able to get Chinese food, like bomb ass. People said it tastes like the New York Chinese food, and I was like, "Well, if that's what it is, then this is what I fuck with." So
I never got Chinese food. I normally stick to the elephant ear, funnel cake. I do the corn on the cob.
fucks with the corn. You do the turkey leg.
Turkey leg, and everything I get, I share it. So if you come to the fair with me, come with an empty stomach because I don't want to get full off of one item. I want to eat a little bit of everything.
That's why you taking your wife.
Yeah, I eat a little bit, you eat a little bit. I'm not trying to get full off of one elephant ear. Like, come what I'm gonna do. I want other stuff. Come on now, it's a team effort.
Come with an empty stomach. Don't get all funny style when I be like, hey, you gonna eat the rest of this, right?
Yeah, man. You get it. Like
don't get weird with me. Like, oh, but I don't really want.
I didn't ask you all that. Like, it is assumed that whatever I eat, you gonna eat, and vice versa. Whatever you buy, I'm gonna get a little bit too. That's why you voice your opinion. Like, if you finna buy something that you finna put some crazy topping on it, I'm gonna tell you, hey, you know I don't eat the strawberries, right? Okay, you eat the chocolate drizzle? Yeah, okay, we're gonna put chocolate drizzle on it. Simple.
Well, if this episode comes out on my mother's birthday, so happy birthday to my mom, 60
happy
years.
Happy birthday, Miss Adams.
We're taking her to brunch. We would have taken her to brunch on Sunday.
Beyond brunch?
No. My mom is holy. She don't need to see nothing that go on at Beyond Brunch. Now we're taking her to brunch. It's a surprise. So by the time she sees this, it won't even matter. It would have already happened. Okay. Taking her to brunch. All her friends will be there. She thinks it's just going to be the kids. It's going to be a whole bunch of people there to celebrate her. We got a private room and all of that. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's my weekend right there.
That's what's up. So, anything else?
Frank want me to wrap it. All right.
No.
So
I'm just checking because I got bids are due and people are emailing me about these bids.
That's I got to hop off too. So, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and outside of those constructs, welcome to another episode. Not welcome. Woo! This has been another episode of the Samurai Professionals Podcast, the podcast where two young professionals bring issues to the table, and we just chopped it up. I'm your co-host, Marvin, Young Saints, Cuff Daddy, Charles Fleck Xavier. Man, why am I fumbling? Dat Man Beyond, Dion Slanders, Petty Pendergrass, Scorpion Vibes. Tell your wife to get over here.
Fuck you.
It's villain season, and the man to the right of me can only be
Not Your Man Candy Savage, a serial killer, Applejack the Ripper, the Munch on Lunch, Lord of the Wings, Jabba in the Cut, the Wholesome Dude, Fatboy Slim, Grits and Gravy, Ron Swanson, Walter White Walker, Hordor Door Stopper, the FNF&D, one half of this POD. He is I and I am him. It is Frank, and we just chopped it up. You can email us at the Samurai Professionals Podcast, or you can hit us up on Instagram and Twitter. We just launched our Discord. More information about that coming soon. Hit us up with any comments, questions, or topic suggestions. You can reach me on Twitter or Instagram at I Can Only Be Frank. Where can I find you, Marvin?
You can find me at all of those places at Marvin X Adams.
This has been another episode of the Samurai Professionals Podcast. Peace.
Peace and love.